my videos. Welcome to this next video, which talks a little bit about the full-size modelling and practice making that you're going to have to do as part of your controlled assessment. The objectives for this part of the task are to develop your design thinking through detailed model making and to define and refine your model and decide upon the final size, proportion and manufacturing methods. And the idea really is that up till now you've been considering lots of different design ideas. You've modelled and you've sketched, but you haven't necessarily thought about the depth of understanding in terms of your model making. So how are the materials going to join together? How big does everything need to be? So at this point of the project, you're really starting to refine and define elements of your project so that you really understand what you're going to be making in a couple of weeks' time. Just to show you some examples of students in the past, so you should recognise this one. So this is a full-size model of an MP3 docking station that's been designed in the shape of a guitar head, and we'll come back to that one in a bit. And here's another example of a full-size model here. This is for a lamp with a drawer section just at the bottom. Okay. So the full-size model then. The full-size model should show more detail than the smaller quick generation models. So the smaller models were just to get you to develop the design through a number of different iterations. The full-size model is really about adding detail and depth to that thinking. Okay. Any moving elements such as drawers needs to be modelled, because that will force you to think about sizes and function and exactly how you're going to manufacture your product from start to finish. Methods of joining materials should be considered and specified. Again, in this example, all the electronics were housed in this part, the neck of the guitar, and the student had to consider, first of all, how to manufacture the box, but secondly, how to make it easily accessible for the user. Okay, so that needs to be thought about as part of this task. If appropriate, you should model the method of joining the parts together. So if you've got a comb joint, for example, you should try to model that. If you can't because the modern materials don't allow you to do that, then you should model it separately. Okay, you need to photograph your model from the angle that best shows off your product, and then if appropriate and suitable for your particular project, you should photograph any important details. So in this example, you might photograph it from the 3/4 angle there, and then what you might do is do another photograph showing how the drawers open and close. Okay, because that's quite important for this student. You could include photographs, yeah, exactly, brilliant, super. Practice making. So alongside making your full-size model, you'll start to understand exactly how you need to manufacture your product. In this case, the student had to bend the timber around quite a complex shape. So she had to practice making that joint so that when she got to the final thing, she knew exactly what she was doing, she knew what the pitfalls were, and she'd researched and understood exactly what needed to be done. Okay? So by completely full-size model, you'll be able to fully evaluate your design. You should be able to identify the best methods of manufacturing a part of your project, or the best method of joining pieces together. You need to practice the manufacturing joining methods so you can identify any flaws or anything you need to consider about later on. Okay? Where there's more than one option, so for example here, with this box section that was just stuck on, we could do dovetails, we could do butt joints, we could do comb joints. So there are a number of options there, and what the student needed to do was to practice a few or sketch a few out and decide upon the best one, and then justify her reasons for her choice. Okay. Of course, as it says there, if you cannot practice all of the options, don't worry, just sketch a few methods just to show that you're thinking about how you might manufacture your product. You'll need to decide, by the end of this task, you'll need to decide on the best method of manufacturing your project and make that decision clear to the examiner so that when they're going through your folder, they can understand that you've considered a range of joining methods and you've chosen the best one for your project with these reasons. Okay. And apart from the stuff that needs to go in the folder, of course, for the examiner, it's a really sensible way of developing your design. So this design here, we modelled it full size, and we realised it was actually too small. And this was the final product in the end. Okay, so a bit dusty now, I'm going to take that off. But you can see how that design influenced the final product, and it really got us to think about how you would manufacture the drawers, how exactly you would manufacture this. Okay, this one here, this turned into a lovely little product as well. Originally, for the full-size model, the student was thinking about having clear acrylic and angle iron just on the sides. By doing the full-size model, we discovered that probably that wasn't going to look as aesthetically pleasing as we wanted it to, and eventually that product turned into this. So apart from the student being able to think through the manufacturing processes, it really gave the student an opportunity to make some changes before the final product was made. Okay, another stunning lamp project. Okay, good. So what could your sheets look like then? Again, this is just just to explain what we're expecting. I'm not expecting your sheets to look like this, and I wouldn't want everybody's to look like this. But on the sheet, it can be 1 or 2 sheets. You can have your full-size model layer, the best photograph that you can show. If it's appropriate, you can show some details, photographs, and show exactly which part of the product they are relating to. You can show some sketches of chosen manufacturing techniques, and you can show photographs of you practicing the joins or the manufacturing techniques that will be considered as part of your design. And then you need to add some commentary and evaluation and explanation as appropriate. Key decisions within that part need to be clearly identified. Okay, this isn't a text, an essay writing exercise. It's for you to explore and explain which method of manufacturing is the best for your product. Okay, so exemplars then. Here, but all 3 of these exemplars are done over 2 pages. 1 page is okay though, depending on the information that you put in. You'll not be able to read it, of course, and that's the intention. But there's a photograph here, and again, photographs over here. So you're not creating a lot of work for the sheet, you're just photographing the stuff you've done anyway. And then there's some annotation there explaining. There's some practice making going on over here. So there's a comb joint happening, the student cutting out the comb joint, and there's some sketches just to show some other options. And on this side, not all of the page is part of this task, but certainly this part is here. The student was designing a board game, kind of board game storage unit. We practiced with heat pressing the design onto the timber, which didn't work in the end, but we went with the laser cutter and engraving, but that was still an option at the time. Another example here, this is this one. So we've got the full-size model there. You can see the student sketching out different options, really thinking about how the product's going to be made, and then practicing with the bag press and practicing with the hinges for the door, okay, so that she can make some informed decisions. And again, this student here wrote an awful lot. You really don't need to write an awful lot unless it's something that fits naturally with you. Full-size model just here, photographed from a number of angles. Practice making. This student was using the convection oven to heat and form acrylic over a former, and there's some information about quality control and things like that there, and different options for joining the pieces together. Okay guys, hope that's clear. Of course you can come and speak to me at any point. This is just a guide. What you're trying to do is show the depth of your thinking at this stage. Good luck guys.